So canning is the best way to preserve your deer meat because it lasts forever. This was canned last year, right around Thanksgiving. My sister-in-law asked me how do you cook with it, so I told her I would make a video. And what we like to do is make a stroganoff. I use a 16-ounce bag of egg noodles. I use a 2.5-ounce packet of country gravy. I have in the past used 2 of these, but last time I used a 10.5-ounce can of cream of mushroom, and it came out really well. So I'm going to do that again. Make the gravy mix according to the instructions. I just pour in the dry mix, and then I add water and stir it. Next, I add the cream of mushroom and I stir it until it's all one consistency. You want it to be smooth, kind of like a runny gravy. Once the gravy's at a good consistency, I'll keep it on a low heat and then I'll start cooking the deer meat. Some people recommend draining it out first, but it's mostly just water in the can, and the meat has been sitting in that all this time, and that's where a lot of the flavor is. So I keep it in there. Now that the water's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and put in the egg noodle and just cook that the same way you cook any pasta. Now that the pasta is cooking, I'm going to go back over to the deer meat and I'm going to chop up this meat as fine as possible. You don't really want it to be big chunks. You want it to be the consistency of like pulled pork. As everything's cooking, I'm just going to make sure the gravy doesn't get too thick and stick to the bottom. Then I'm going to add some seasoning to the deer meat. I like to use the McCormick's garlic and herbs. You can use whatever seasoning you want to and whatever amount you want to, but then once you have it in, just make sure it's all stirred in evenly throughout the meat. Now that the meat and the gravy is where we want it, we're going to keep those on a low temperature and we're going to go back to the egg noodles. When they're done, we're going to drain off all the water and then we're going to put it back in the pot. And then we're going to add the gravy first and get that mixed into the egg noodles really well. Once the gravy is mixed in evenly, go ahead and add the deer meat. Don't drain it because the water that's in it will help add moisture to the stroganoff. And then get all that mixed in really well. And there you have it, venison stroganoff, a family favorite in our house.